All right. So, how we doing today? So we're going to be doing reflection, water, and color all in the same. Now again, the last video I did, I showed you guys how to use pencil with just color. So this time I'm going to be using some of these watercolors, and then I'm going to go back after this dries and use a little bit of marker and pen and to beef up some of my line work. And so you can use a typical simple watercolor set if you don't have something like this. I like these. I think they work well, and I did this with my design class with projects, and so far I've been very pleased with everything that's been coming out. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I am going to make an outline. Basically, I'm going to set up my composition. Now, normally I would set up my composition with graphite, Vine Charcoal, but when you're dealing with color, what I generally like to start out with is a yellow pencil. So in my video I talked a little bit about these interchangeable colors that fit inside my pen. As you can see, it comes out as if you press the back. You can make it as much as you need. The only downside, once this kind of gets dull, it's a little hard to sharpen. You have to take an X-Acto blade. But I'm going to set up my composition, and I'm going to, at that point, once it's set up, go back in with the watercolor pigment. I'm going to draw with that, and then I'm going to go back on top of everything with water, just a straight water, and blend it. Let that dry, and then I'm going to go back over that with some permanent pen and marker. All right, so let's get started. First, I'm going to start in the center of my composition. I'm going to start getting my glass in my space. The last one I kind of got a little close on running out of room, so I want to make sure I don't run out of room. So I'm drawing really faint. Now I'm going to put the handle, it's going to go in this direction. It curves, and then it makes into a nice, interesting, like little triangle right here. Curves in. And basically all I'm doing is working on my setup, making sure everything fits in the proper space. I know it's a little probably hard to see. It's a little hard to even see for me. And then I'm going to hit my water line. And water goes all the way in the back of this cup in my position. Once you kind of start to feel out the shape, press down a little harder to get your balance in. I'm using a very simple cup, not dealing with a very complex shape glass. I'm not using like a wine glass. Now, one of the things I know in the water, this shape is refracted, okay? And so I want to give that illusion. So you really want to look at that water line, and you want to look at that object. Make sure you get that illusion. Okay, and it's offset just a tiny bit. Okay, I'm not worrying about textures, tones. I'm just worrying about shape, building my shapes out, making sure everything fits in the right spot. Okay, and then there's a lemon kind of sneaking through the back. Let's get that lemon. So get that shape in. And I don't see it in the water glass, so make sure you're really using your eyes to look. Now here's a lime. right in here. Okay. I bring this glass down just a little bit more. Now I have it on top of a serving fork or serving pie holder kind of shape. Look where the little center of the orange is, and it's right there. Make a couple of rings to get that shape in. Now looking at this line, it actually goes a little further down. I'm going to make that fit a little bit better and starting to fit. Curve out that line a little more, have it a little too oblong. And anytime you're dealing with a watercolor paper, make sure you tape it down. It'll be very beneficial for you, keeping it from buckling and waving. It helps to kind of stretch it. So hopefully you can see a little bit of that. Now I'm going to start using my colors. So again, just like in the pencils, I'm going to start with the brightest color. So I'm going to start with my yellow tone, and I'm going to start just getting some yellow areas that I see right off the bat. I see this yellow coming out of here from the lemon. And this pencil, I mean this material of paint that I use really does work well for speed and getting that in. I see a little bit of yellow in my glass from the reflecting part. So I'm going to keep that out though, because I'm going to need it probably coming up here. So now I'm going to take my next color, my orange. Make sure everything's cleaned off if you're using these. They need to stay, you don't want to mix your colors prematurely. So majority of the light is bouncing off the top. Someone said that my videos are a little long, so hopefully that last video of me demonstrating was okay in the time lapse, but I kind of felt it was a little short in my opinion, but tried something new with this. So I'm going to let this one kind of go a little further. Okay, so now I need the green for my lime. Okay. Putting down the colors first that I see. Okay, oops, and I see a little bit of green on my spatula here. Now, I like this gray color, so I'm going to add some of this gray going around my object. The only downside about this gray I'm not super pleased with, it has a little bit of a sparkle to it, like silver kind of feeling undertone. And I see some orange inside of here. Now I'm going to use a little bit of my gray to boost out my glass. And I'm going to be hitting that up with some white and black as well. Get some of that water with that gray. Now remember, water is a reflective color, just like when we were doing reflection. There's a little bit of yellow popping in there as I'm looking at it a little closer with my garlic press shape. Notice how I'm taking my time with each little setup. Down at the bottom of the glass, I see a large amount of gray. And then here on the spoon, or the pie cutter, and it's starting to get there. I'm feeling pleased with it so far. The shapes are feeling pretty good. Need a little bit more green in here. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little hints of light blue I see in here. Just a hint. I'm wearing a blue shirt, so it's bouncing off of me. Take a little bit of blue and put in that green for my shadow there. Take a little bit of blue, put in the shadow underneath that lemon, just a tiny bit. Gonna add some purple now on top of that blue. Those complements are gonna really help build up my shape. With a little brown now. Okay, there's a little bit of brown underneath this line. There's a lot of brown in my orange. Tiny bit of yellow, orange bouncing off of there. Okay. See a little bit of purple line. Okay. Now I'm going to add my black in Unlike the other one, I didn't add any black. Don't want to get it too powerful and overdo everything else. So you just want a little bit here and there, kind of pushing on the edge. Get some of my detail. You can really start to see that garlic press start to come to life when I start adding some of that black on there. Just don't want to go too crazy with it. Be too wacky. Second video on there. Now, noticing after I add that black, I needed a lot more gray in here. Just a little bits. And we'll see how this all blends with water. Okay. Now, get my white in here. Start diluting some of this gray tone with some of that white. Start pushing all that form. Do the same thing in with here, kind of mix all that in a little bit. I'm going to get a little crazy there. Okay. Clean off my white just a little bit. Get in there. And that. Hit in here with my orange now. And I need some yellow. Top of that orange. some yellow on top of my green. Okay. So at this point, I feel pretty good about some of the layouts in here, what it's feeling, some of that line work I'm getting. And now I'm going to start adding the watercolor. At this point, I'm going to speed that on.